December 2022. Gunna walks out of jail a free man. Within hours, courtroom footage leaks showing him admitting YSL is a gang. The streets erupt. Rat emojis flood every post. Industry peers unfollow him. Then new footage surfaces, showing exactly how Gunna's been handling the snitch label that refuses to die. December 2022. A hooded figure rushes from a building marked jail into a waiting Mercedes Maybach. Cameras flash, paparazzi shout, and just like that, Gunna is free. But freedom came with a price. The moment that courtroom footage leaked, everything changed.
Please state after each statement whether or not you agree or acknowledge that statements are true, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I became affiliated with YSL around 2016. Is that true as it pertains to you, Mr. Kitchens?
Yes.
The reaction from the streets was immediate and brutal.
Oh man, they done did it to the Gunna, man. I was hoping that he didn't make an actual statement, but I guess part of his plea was you gotta say it out loud, bro. Call it what you want.
Social media exploded. Every post flooded with rat emojis. Industry peers started unfollowing him on Instagram. Lil Baby, Polo G, Meek Mill. One by one, the connections severed. The man who once had 2 #1 albums was now carrying a scarlet letter.
Gang was cool with it. It's a plan for the gang to get loose or somebody to help on the outside, but call it what you want, but that's telling, bro. That's snitching, bro. That's telling.
And the streets. They didn't care about legal technicalities. Some saw something deeper at play, a pattern of public humiliation by authorities.
Just like they did T.I. with the Crime Stoppers. Yeah, you can get a plea, but you gotta do this for us.
But Gunna wasn't staying silent. His first public statement came through his attorney, Steve Sato. He made it clear he hadn't been interviewed, hadn't cooperated, hadn't agreed to testify, and had absolutely no intention of being involved in the trial. For many, that wasn't enough. The streets don't operate on legal definitions. Criminal defense lawyer Bruce Rivers broke down exactly why this situation was so complicated.
So let's talk about what a plea is first. A plea is when you all of a sudden say, hey, look, I'm guilty. There's 2 parts to a plea. There's a waiver of your rights because you have a right to a trial, and there's a whole bunch of rights. You have a right to testify, cross-examine witnesses, blah, blah, blah. So you have to waive all those rights first.
That admission in court. Rivers explained what it really meant for Young Thug's case.
I became affiliated. So he all of a sudden acknowledges YSL as a gang.
YSL is a music label and a gang, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the gang.
Yes.
And here's where the legal implications became unavoidable.
Says Gunna did not snitch to get out of jail. He has said nothing and is not cooperating. He just admitted in open court. His plea statement cannot be used in court against any other defendant. Not true. So please stop spreading lies.
See, there's legal truth and there's street truth, and they rarely speak the same language. Sato pushed back hard on the snitch claims. He emphasized Gunna's plea statement couldn't be used in court against anyone. But the gap between technical legal reality and street interpretation, that gap was a canyon. Rivers saw it differently, explaining the courtroom reality.
And that absolutely can be used in a trial against Young Thug. Now, these are extremely serious charges.
For 5 months, Gunna stayed quiet, let the accusations pile up, let former collaborators throw subliminals. Then June 2023, he finally responded, the only way a rapper can, with music. Bread and Butter dropped like a statement of defense. He addressed the lawyers, the millions he paid them, the railroad he was trying to dodge. He admitted the DA and his legal team did something sneaky, that he fell for it. But he maintained he never gave a statement, never agreed to take the stand. The music video showed a man isolated, driving through the Hollywood Hills alone, masked, defiant. Whether the song helped or hurt his case in the court of public opinion, that depends on who you ask. Meanwhile, voices from the outside kept weighing in. Bobby Shmurda spoke about what snitching really means to someone who's lived it.
So, I'ma say Rats was talking about all these snitch. Because personally to me, my father got 120 years, his friend snitched on him.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
his friend snitched, and then I had to shoot one of my friends when I was like 15, 16. He's not dead, don't worry, he's not dead. He still lives in the hood still.
His definition drew clear lines about who qualifies as a snitch.
See, the snitch to me is a person that portrays to be a gangster. If he's a civilian's a civilian, you know what I'm saying? But if you portraying to be a gangster, then you telling on people. Now, I'm not saying I'm talking about rappers, but if it applies, if it don't apply, let it fly. You know, whatever the shit said.
That distinction matters. Gunna never claimed to be a street figure. His catalog is love songs and high fashion. But once you're in that world, the rules apply whether you signed up or not.
Oh, portraying tattoos and, man, yeah, shoddy. How these doing this dress up? I call it dress up gangster. You probably never heard of it. I call it dress up gangster.
I like that term, dress up gangster.
Dress up gangster. Yeah, shoddy. Playing dress up and shit. Yeah, shit. Nah, I'm saying,
Fast forward to December 2024. Art Basel Week in Miami. LV nightclub is packed, strobe lights, confetti. And Gunna grabs the mic with Offset standing right beside him. What he shouted next went viral instantly. He rapped G Herbo's lyrics about never snitching on his friends, using someone else's words to make his own point. The crowd erupted. Offset danced with his hands up. The video spread across every platform within hours. Some saw it as proof of support, others saw it as provocation. Either way, it showed Gunna wasn't hiding from the conversation anymore. In a rare candid interview with XXL magazine, Gunna finally opened up. He addressed the rappers who'd thrown shots at him: Lil Durk, 21, Savage, Lil Baby. He said they weren't on the case. They didn't know legally what was going on. But here's what stood out. He mentioned having conversations with 3 or 4 of those guys, peacefully, behind closed doors, away from the public eye. Whatever differences existed, he was handling them like a man. On his relationship with Young Thug, he kept it simple. It's the same. It's love, always. Even as Thug's tweets told a different story, the album Strategy became his loudest response. June 2023 brought a gift and a curse. Completely featureless, standing alone when no one would stand with him. And Fuku Mean became his biggest solo hit. Number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. Inescapable on TikTok. Then came One of One in 2024. The Last One in 2025. 3 successful albums since his release. Chart success as the ultimate rebuttal. When Thug tweeted his name, seemingly throwing shade, Gunna responded on Prototype. He suggested the tweet mentioning him must have been a typo, subtle, calculated, never directly disrespectful. That's the strategy. Fighting back without fighting, maintaining respect while defending himself, letting success speak louder than explanations. Think about the emotional toll. From Young Thug's day one to industry pariah overnight. Relationships built over nearly a decade, fractured. The friend who made him a millionaire now publicly wishing ill on him. Every day, the same accusations, the same scrutiny, the same judgment. YSL co-founder Mondo eventually came to his defense. He said technically, Gunna didn't rat. He just kind of folded under pressure. Should have stayed down with his people until everything was over. That distinction matters to some. To others, it's a difference without a difference. But here's what Gunna understands. He can't just ignore it and move on. The label follows you forever. As Jay-Z once said, a snitch label is a lifetime scar. You're always in jail, just minus the bars. So he runs, literally. The Wanna Run Club 5K at Fontainebleau during Art Basel. He performs. The Wanna World Tour with Offset by his side. He shows up. Carefully, strategically. Every appearance calculated to prove he's still here, still relevant, still standing. So what does redemption look like for Gunna? Maybe it's the 3 albums he's dropped since December 2022. Maybe it's Fuku Mean, hitting number 4 on the Hot 100. Maybe it's The Last One proving the hits keep coming. Maybe it's the sold-out shows, the one-a-run club, the features returning, the slow, grinding work of rebuilding a reputation one success at a time. Or maybe there is no redemption. Maybe Jay-Z was right. A snitch label is a lifetime scar. You're always in jail, just minus the bars. What's undeniable is this: Gunna chose freedom. He chose his life over martyrdom. And whether that makes him weak or wise depends entirely on who you ask. The court of public opinion remains divided. The legal system has moved on. Young Thug eventually came home too. But the relationship between them? Fractured. Possibly forever. Gunna keeps releasing music, keeps performing, keeps showing up. Every move calculated, every appearance intentional. Fighting back without fighting, defending himself without attacking Thug directly. That's his strategy. Let success speak. Let time do its work. Let the music outlast the accusations. Everyone had an opinion about what Gunna did. But before judging the man, you've got to understand the situation he was in. The kind of case that could bury someone for decades. May 9th, 2022. Young Thug and 27 other YSL affiliates are arrested in one of Georgia's most sweeping RICO cases ever filed. Prosecutors claim the Atlanta rap superstar isn't just running a record label. They say he's leading a criminal street gang.
So Young Thug had a problem. His group YSL just got hit with a RICO charge. What's a RICO charge? Great question. So basically, courts use this thing called RICO to bring a whole organization in for a crime.
Gunna turns himself in 2 days later. Both rappers are denied bond. Multiple times. What follows becomes the longest criminal trial in Georgia history. The prosecution strategy was simple but brutal. Call everyone in and offer them a deal. Give up Young Thug or face decades in prison.
Is tell us if YSL, this is important, if it's a gang or not. Don't tell us if Young Thug is a super bad criminal. Just tell us if it's a gang or not. And you're basically free to go. That sounds insane, right?
December 2022. Gunna accepts what's called an offered plea. Now this is important to understand. An offered plea means you plead guilty while still maintaining your innocence. You're essentially saying, I didn't do this, but I acknowledge the evidence could convict me. He gets a 5-year suspended sentence with time served. He walks free that day. But here's where everything falls apart.
Atlanta rapper Gunna is addressing his relationship with fellow rapper Young Thug after accepting a plea deal in the ongoing YSL RICO case. Authorities allege that Young Thug founded a violent street gang that ran for over a decade.
In that courtroom, Judge Glenda Kendrick asked Gunna a series of questions. He answered yes to all of them. Yes, YSL is a gang. Yes, the gang must end. Yes, he knew people who committed crimes on behalf of YSL.
In an interview with XXL magazine, Gunna says he feels like everyone is being misled and they don't really know what's going on. He says his relationship with Young Thug is still the same. Gunna's lawyer, Steve Sadow, is also refuting the claims against his client.
His lawyer insisted the statement couldn't be used against other defendants. Legally, that was true, but in the streets, that distinction meant nothing. The trial itself descended into chaos. It took 8 months just to select a jury. For reference, entire trials usually last that long.
It took them 8 months to select a jury, and just for reference, long trials last like 8 months. They had about 700 witnesses ready to testify. They started going through the witnesses and started realizing, oh, this is not going to finish until 2027.
The dysfunction only got worse as the trial progressed.
I'm so high right now, y'all. I'm about to go to sleep on y'all.
He then goes on to say he's too high to remember the details. Another witness comes on the stand and flips on the prosecutors and starts helping Young Thug. Not because she liked Young Thug, it's because someone on the prosecutor's team kept asking her out on dates and she thought it was weird.
Witnesses showed up high. One admitted on the stand he couldn't remember anything. A prosecution team member allegedly harassed a female witness. Then came the secret meeting that threatened to collapse the entire case.
You have the right to a fair trial, meaning listen closely. There cannot be any secret meetings. In fact, everything has to be known by everyone.
When Young Thug's lawyer exposed this meeting between the judge, prosecutors, and a key witness, the confrontation was intense. The lawyer demanded to know why it happened. The judge attempted to hold him in contempt. August 2025, jail calls between Young Thug and 21 Savage leak online. And what Thug says about Gunna? It's devastating. He accuses Gunna of giving jurors the agreement that YSL was a gang. Says Gunna only knew 3 people on the case: Thug himself, Duke, and Yacht Gotti. None of them involved in criminal activity. So when Gunna confirmed knowing people who committed crimes for the gang, Thug calls that a flat-out lie. The accusation got even more personal. Thug claimed Gunna took the plea just to get out for a woman. Not for freedom, not for his family, for a relationship. But the most painful revelations came in September 2025. Thug sat down for the Perspectives with Bank podcast. 3 hours of raw emotion. He breaks down explaining what Gunna's plea really cost him. Compares snitching to something you can never come back from. Says the comparison isn't meant as an insult, but as a fact about how he sees things now. Then he lists everything he did for Gunna since 2015. Had him around every single day. Made him a millionaire. Bought his first apartment. Went half and half on his mama's first house to get her out the hood. Told him to reunite with his father. Gave him more time than his own children. And then, this deep breath. A pause. He admits he poured so much into Gunna that he can't even hate him. His girlfriend made him realize he's not angry. He's hurt. But here's where things get complicated. Other leaked calls revealed business dealings that painted a different picture. Thug admitted to spending $50,000 on fake streams, so Gunna's Days Forever album could beat The Weeknd's Dawn FM for #1. Told his manager Gunna never honestly earned that top spot. Then there was the strategic timing of Business is Business, dropped just to overshadow Gunna's A Gift and a Curse. And then, a 2-hour 2015 interrogation video surfaces. Thug himself talking to investigators about the Lil Wayne tour bus shooting, discussing Pee Wee Roscoe giving drugs to Wayne. Fans immediately called him a hypocrite. How can you be angry at Gunna while having your own questionable statements on tape? Thug's defense? He was trying to help a co-defendant avoid prison, not snitch. He tweets that the video was never played in court because it actually helped his case. The distinction between his interrogation and Gunna's plea. According to Thug, he didn't name names for crimes. Gunna confirmed the organization was a gang. Lawyers actually agree the Alford plea statement couldn't legally be used against Thug. It wasn't testimony. It was a statement against Gunna's own interest only. But the street code doesn't care about legal technicalities. To the hip-hop community, Gunna said what he said in that courtroom. YSL co-founder Mondo tried to split the difference. He said publicly that Gunna technically didn't rat, but he also said Gunna folded under pressure when he should have stayed down with his people until everything was over.
The verdict with regard to him, okay. And then Mr. Stillwell's is dated today. Okay. All right, Mr. Kendrick. You have been found not guilty on all charges.
October 2024. After more than 900 days in custody, Young Thug finally walks free. He accepts a plea deal. 15 years probation. Banned from Metro Atlanta for 10 of those years. Required to return 4 times annually to host anti-gang presentations. Stipulations about who he can contact at YSL. His lawyer specifically asks the judge if he can still work with Gunna due to contractual obligations. The judge approves. But Thug makes his position crystal clear. A tweet and delete that said everything. Gunna, stop acting like we friends on the internet. I don't know him, my guy. Gunna seemingly responded on a track called Prototype. Something about a typo. But by then, the damage was done. When Big Bank asked Thug if he'd ever sit down and talk with Gunna, the answer was immediate. No. What could Gunna possibly say? What explanation would make anyone understand? And when asked about new music, about where his career goes from here, Thug's voice broke. The people he was with every day? Gone. Not to tragedy, to betrayal. He doesn't know what to do. The legal reality and the street code exist in two different worlds. In one, Gunna did what his lawyers advised to secure his freedom. His statement can't be used against anyone. He's not testifying. He's not cooperating. In the other, he stood in a courtroom and called YSL a gang, said it must end, confirmed knowing people who committed crimes, and no amount of legal explanation erases that. What makes this story so devastating isn't the courtroom drama or the leaked calls. It's watching two men who built something together tear it apart over a definition. Is snitching about legal admissibility? Or is it about standing in front of a judge and calling your family a gang? The hip-hop community remains divided. Some see Gunna as a man who took the only path to freedom. Others see him as someone who folded when it mattered most. Neither side is completely wrong. Young Thug built an empire from Atlanta's Jonesboro South projects, brought his friends, his family, his community into the light, made Gunna a star, and now he's on probation for 15 years, banned from Metro Atlanta for 10 of them, and the family he built is scattered. His brother Unfunk serving 9 years. Duke took a plea. Yak Gotti faced his own consequences. And Gunna, walking free, but walking alone. The longest trial in Georgia history ended not with vindication, but with both men losing something they can never get back. Their brotherhood, their trust, their slime. This wasn't just a RICO case. It was the dismantling of a movement. The prosecution proved something prosecutors always try to prove in these cases. Pressure works. Offer enough years and somebody talks. Somebody folds. Somebody confirms what you need confirmed. Young Thug built Young Stoner Life Records to lift his community. Now he can't even enter that community for a decade. The empire that made him a legend became the evidence that nearly buried him. And somewhere in Atlanta, Gunna is still releasing music on YSL Records, still technically signed, still contractually tied to the man who gave him everything and now wants nothing to do with him. That's the real ending here, not guilty verdicts or plea deals. Just two former brothers, legally bound, but personally severed. The slime that held them together washed away in a Fulton County courtroom. Some bonds don't survive the system. This one didn't. But courtrooms aren't where the story really ends. The moment Thug walked out on probation, the industry started drawing lines. Friends, collaborators, whole crews, everyone had to pick a side. What the unfollows came first: Future, Lil Durk, Wheezy, Lil Baby. One by one, the Instagram notifications stopped. In hip-hop, that silent severing speaks louder than any diss track ever could. But Lil Durk wasn't content with silence. When DJ Academics asked him directly about Gunna, Durk didn't hesitate.
I don't sit up and play games, man. The man told. You should have went in there and kept your mouth closed.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I thought you were trying to reverse it. I'm like,
hell no.
That clip spread everywhere. Durk looked into the camera and made his position clear. If you cooperate, he hates you because he loves Thug. And when asked to clarify, he doubled down.
If you a rat, you a rat. And if you rewind this clip a little bit, I looked into the camera and I told you, if you a rat, I hate you. Because I love Thug.
Lil Baby's silence spoke just as loud. The man who made Drip Too Hard into a certified classic with Gunna, he started telling DJs to cut the track at shows. When it played by accident, he'd shout into the mic exactly how he felt about rats. But nobody's words cut deeper than Thug's own. When interrogation footage leaked, when jail calls surfaced, the world finally heard how Young Thug really felt about his former protege.
Hey, you already done betrayed a nigga before, bro? Damn. A piece of paper and all it.
Think about that. A signature on paper potentially destroying decades of someone's life. Thug recalled all the times he protected Gunna, hiding him when shooters came, treating him like family.
When them shooting at you, Lil Woody, I helped you hide. You ain't had nothing to do with men.
The leaked Young Thug track said it plainly. The only reason he rocked with Gunna was because of their neighborhood connection, because of Troop. July 2024, Thug tweeted something that felt directed. If you're a rapper and a rat, you just gotta go gospel. The message was clear. Give up rap or face permanent exile.
Cause you been standing on that. This whole beef started because of you. The whole shit started because of Lil Woody. How the you gonna tell? This started because of you.
The specific words from the plea deal cut deepest. The acknowledgement that YSL was a gang that must end. Those words, Thug believed, could have sent him away forever.
Duct tape is a game, and it must end. Just be a man. You don't think that you owe Thug an explanation? No matter what Thug's saying. Thug can say bank a rat all day. Bank a rat.
But here's where it gets complicated. Not everyone abandoned Gunna. Offset showed up publicly at LIV Miami. He performed alongside Gunna during Art Basel, running through tracks together. In a moment when most artists ran the other way, Offset walked toward the fire. And within YSL itself, opinions were divided. YSL co-founder Mondo took to Instagram story with a nuanced take. He argued Gunna technically didn't rat. He just folded under pressure and should have stayed down with his people. Mondo drew a clear line between Gunna and someone like 6699, who actually sent people to prison with his testimony. Speaking of 6699, he wasn't about to stay quiet. The debate around industry hypocrisy became a central talking point.
Sergio Fast Kitchens is in court calling YSL a gang. That is not admitting to no crime. You just had a man. Wait. When Young Thug went to court and said, listen, I need a bail package.
The legal nuances mattered. When Gunna stood before that judge and agreed that YSL was a music label and a gang, when he acknowledged knowing members committed crimes, that wasn't nothing, even if he never sat in the witness chair. 21. Savage found himself caught in the middle. Leaked calls showed him trying to defend Gunna to Thug, telling him artists jumped the gun with their criticism. But publicly, he kept his distance. The impossible position of being friends with both men, trying to be the voice of reason in Atlanta while noting the city just doesn't feel the same anymore after all the death and incarceration. Then 50 Cent entered the conversation. September 2025, right after Thug's interrogation footage leaked, Fifth posted a cryptic message. This is how you gotta move in the streets now because these people are telling. Be careful. No names mentioned, but the timing spoke volumes. Young Thug's pain ran deeper than betrayal. In an interview that laid everything bare, he opened up about the emotional toll.
I ain't never even knew that. I just thought I was just running around, just living life like God just made me a happy person. I'm just happy. I think I'm happy. That's why I just told you earlier when you said, why you ain't just doing what you supposed to do when you got out of jail? What I know you to do, bro. Why you ain't just being Michael Jackson? I thought I was. I thought I went.
That moment of vulnerability from Thug shows what this situation cost everyone involved. Not just careers, not just money, something deeper. For Thug, this wasn't about street code as some abstract concept. It was about survival.
You broke a code that men with backbone stand up to. You broke that code. You can talk, you can say whatever you want to say. You broke a man code. I don't look at you the same.
Here's the thing nobody saw coming. Gunna won commercially. A gift and a curse became a success, despite all the backlash. Fuku Mean hit number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. It went viral on TikTok with millions of uses. His biggest solo hit came after the allegations. 3 successful albums since his release. Streaming numbers proving fans didn't abandon him the way the industry did. The streets and the charts don't always align. Meanwhile, Gunna transformed himself physically. The weight loss, the fitness journey, the Wanna Run Club he started, part therapy, part community building. He turned negative energy into positive physical transformation. For his part, Gunna maintains he was misled. In his XXL cover story, he said everyone's been fed the wrong narrative. He pointed out that other rappers criticizing him aren't on the case. They don't know the legal details. Then came the twist nobody expected. At Young Thug's sentencing, his attorney, Brian Steele, specifically requested permission for Thug to continue working with Gunna, called him a phenomenal artist. The judge granted it. Social media exploded. Comments flooded the shade room demanding the industry apologize to Gunna. Some said Lil Baby should be first in line. But the wound hasn't healed. Not really. Young Thug still drops subliminals in 2025. Gunna still defends himself in clubs, neither backing down. Fans still arguing in comments 3 years later. Both careers surviving, but the relationship destroyed permanently. What this case taught hip-hop goes beyond two men. Future RICO cases now have a template of what not to do. Artists are more aware of legal implications around plea deals. There's new paranoia around anything that could be seen as cooperation. Younger Atlanta artists watched this unfold and learned. Some now refuse to take any deal, regardless of consequences. Rolling Stone put it best: the rap internet's obsession with snitching is ruining the Atlanta scene. Think about that. Conversations dominated by everything except music. Artistic output buried under arguments about street credibility. The gangster identity superseding the businessman identity. That's the dangerous game. Valuing street code over freedom, over family, over everything you built. And there's another layer to the hypocrisy.
The margin is right here. This is what's wrong.
Hold on, did Gunna snitch?
Of course, 100%. Ain't no doubt about it. But we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna dissect it.
Atlanta's landscape changed permanently. Deaths and incarceration decimated the scene. Lil Keed died of illness just days after the arrests. The YSL movement effectively over. Collaborations that will never happen. Music that will never be made. The impossible question remains: what would you do facing years in prison? It's easy to judge from the outside. Real-life consequences versus maintaining an image. Family, freedom, or street reputation. Gunna's lawyers say it wasn't really a choice. The streets say there's always a choice. Most people will never face that decision. RICO laws continue being weaponized against rap labels. The government keeps using lyrics and associations as evidence. Artists now must choose between authenticity and legal safety. The cost of mixing street life with mainstream success has never been clearer. Both careers survived. Both men kept making music. But something fundamental broke between them: a brotherhood, a partnership, a shared dream. The wound hasn't healed. Maybe it never will. And that might be the realest lesson of all. Sometimes there are no winners, just survivors picking up pieces of what used to be.